Well, so much art has gone out the door today. Prints and an original piece off to Italy. And I find it really humbling and also an act of wonder to roll up and parcel up safely an artwork that you've spent days and days and days poring over your attention, scratching and drawing and rubbing out and misting and smudging and defining, meditating. These things are ritual acts. It's a true form of magic. And drawing the great god Pan, whether it's a real being or not, whether it's just an echo of an ancient myth, I think it entirely possible that there are beings of not of this world who use the doorways of mythology, the icons of gods and angels long gone, as their own ways of expressing themselves in this world. Because some pretty strange things have happened drawing Pan and some of the other things I've drawn recently. The eyes move, they take on a colour, they shift. And I don't find this shocking anymore, as if you're meeting a living entity through the work of your hands. And it takes me back to a memory of when I was a little boy away on holiday. And this is a powerful foundational experience. I was on holiday somewhere in Britain, and I remember visiting this stately home. And there was a staircase that wound up. It was so wide. Obviously, I was very small, but it was so wide. And it went up and up and up. And on the panelled walls, all the way up the staircase, were portraits. Period portraits of unusual men and women from the 18th century, I guess, 19th century. And all the eyes were looking at me. I swear it to you. It was the weirdest thing. As I walked up the stairs, all the eyes of all the portraits were looking at me. And it wasn't scary, it was just a feeling of wonder. And I think it was almost a foreshadowing of the artwork I'm doing these days. That the drawings, the portraits, the figures, the personalities, the people, the beings from another dimension, whoever I've turned my attention to, the eyes, as I gradually draw them and fix on the eyes and produce that definition, that detail, focusing and focusing and focusing, it's as if they become windows into another dimension through which beings of not of this world can gaze back at us in their own sense of wonder and awe and curiosity at what we are as human beings. And which brings me back to the idea that passing on these magically, somehow intentionally charged artworks out into the world is just amazing. That art can heal, can be the threshold of insight, can lead people to new thoughts and feelings. And there's some arguments over the course of art history about the veracity or the effectiveness of two dimensions, two-dimensional illusions, or three-dimensional illusions on a two-dimensional surface, had any worth whatsoever anymore. And all the talk about AI has no soul, if such a thing exists, or at least if it exists the way we think it is, or we define it. It doesn't matter how sophisticated or beautiful or miraculous AI is in its video and imaging production. There's something about the making with human hands and intention with human will that can transform dead matter into life, or make or potentialize dead matter so much that life can spring out from it, or energy can literally spring out of the surface. And like a baton passed between runners, it carries a charge, and that charge doesn't diminish. Unlike a talisman that you have to recharge a talisman because the energy you invest in it ebbs away. I don't think that's the case with artworks. I think that magical charge, that intentional charge, is in the surface and is carried to whoever owns it after I've made it, after we've made it as artists or creatives. That charge goes on because, of course, everyone looks at art, and everyone who looks at it gives energy to it. So the energy builds like the facets of a beautiful diamond. It becomes more iridescent, more marvelous than it could ever have been before if it was left in a dusty studio, never to be seen. So actually, where where our attention goes, our energy flows. And so, how much artwork is given energy by those who see it, those who own it, those who nurture it and pass it on to it or resells it. It just a journey begins in a studio, and that artwork that's a doorway to another dimension is passed on one to another across the world, and its efficacy is increased with every new viewer, every new owner. And here's me thinking, I'm posting another artwork tomorrow to another customer that's been waiting to go out for about a week or so, and my workspace is going to be completely empty now. What amazing things are at hand, eh? Well, whatever you do now, whether you're rising out of bed to begin a new day on the other side of the world, or like me, going to go to sleep soon, whatever you do, bless it. Bless it with your hopes, your dreams, and your happiness, and it will be returned to you. For to love life, life loves you back. And that's another story.